David Goggins ran 100 miles on a broken foot. Not a sprained ankle. Not a sore heel. A broken foot with stress fractures already spreading through both legs, and he kept running until his body started shutting down on national television. Doctors later told him he shouldn't have been able to stand, let alone run for marathons back to back. But he did. And when you ask him how, his answer isn't about talent. It isn't about genetics. It's for words that destroy every excuse you've ever made. Pain is a mindset. Today, we're breaking down 5 brutal, science-backed facts about David Goggins that prove your limits aren't physical. They're mental. And by the end of this video, you'll understand exactly how a man who once weighed 297 pounds and couldn't run a mile without stopping became one of the hardest human beings alive. If you've ever quit something because it hurt, stay until the end. Fact number 4 will change how you see every excuse you've ever made. Let's get into it. Fact number 1, Goggins believes your brain quits at 40% of your actual capacity. This isn't motivational fluff. It's a real concept rooted in exercise physiology, the idea that when your mind screams, "I'm done," your body still has 60% left in the tank. Your brain, wired for survival, shuts you down early to protect you from a threat that usually doesn't exist anymore. Goggins calls this the governor, an internal limiter, like the one in a rental car that caps your speed. Most people never override it. They hit discomfort, and they stop, believing they've hit their true limit. Goggins discovered otherwise by accident. During Navy SEAL training, one of the most brutal selection processes on Earth, he watched his body scream to quit during Hell Week, and instead of listening, he counted. He broke pain into small numbers. 1 more step. 1 more minute. 1 more push-up. And every time he pushed past what felt like his ceiling, a new one appeared, further out than the last. The lesson isn't that pain disappears. It's that pain lies about where the real wall is. Fact number 2, Goggins built a mental technique called the cookie jar, and it's the reason he never runs out of willpower when it matters most. Here's how it works. In your darkest moments, when quitting feels like the only option, your brain needs proof that you've survived worse. So Goggins mentally stores every hard thing he's ever overcome, like cookies in a jar. Getting called worthless as a kid. Failing the SEAL screening test 3 times. Losing 106 pounds in under 3 months to qualify for training he almost missed the cutoff for. When exhaustion hits mid-race or mid-mission, he reaches into that jar. Not for comfort, for evidence. Proof that the version of him standing here has already beaten harder odds than the ones in front of him right now. This is what separates people who collapse under pressure from people who don't. It's not that tough people feel less pain. It's that they've built a mental archive of past survival they can pull from instantly. Most people never build a jar because they never let themselves finish the hard thing in the first place. Fact number 3, every single morning, Goggins stands in front of a mirror and tells himself the truth no matter how ugly it is. He calls it the accountability mirror. Sticky notes with specific, uncomfortable goals, not vague dreams, but exact numbers and deadlines stuck to the glass. And every morning, he has to look himself in the eye and admit whether he's actually closer to them or whether he's been lying to himself. This sounds simple. It isn't. Most people spend their entire lives avoiding this exact moment, the one where you stop blaming your job, your circumstances, your childhood, and ask the only question that matters: what did I actually do yesterday to become who I say I want to be? Goggins has said the mirror doesn't care about your excuses. It only reflects what's real. And that daily confrontation with truth, as small as it sounds, rewires how a person operates. Because you cannot lie to a mirror and also become disciplined. The two are incompatible. Fact number 4, and this is the one that changes everything. Goggins believes the mind can be trained exactly like a muscle, through deliberate, repeated exposure to discomfort. He calls it callusing the mind. Think about what happens when you lift weights consistently. Muscle fiber tears under stress, then rebuilds stronger. Goggins applies the same principle to mental toughness. Cold showers when every cell in your body wants warm. Running when your legs are done. Finishing tasks you want to abandon. Each time you choose the harder option over the comfortable one, you're not just completing a task, you're building callus over the part of your brain that wants to quit. Here's the part most people miss: comfort doesn't build resilience. It erodes it. Every time you take the easy way out, snoozing the alarm, skipping the workout, avoiding the hard conversation, you're not being kind to yourself. You're softening the exact muscle you'll need when real adversity shows up uninvited. Goggins didn't become who he is by avoiding suffering. He sought it out on purpose, in small controlled doses, until the version of pain that used to break him became something he barely noticed anymore. This is the uncomfortable truth: toughness isn't a personality trait you're born with. It's a callus you build one hard choice at a time. And most people never build it because they never choose the hard thing when nobody's watching. Fact number 5, Goggins uses a controversial mental strategy in competition and in life that he calls taking souls. It's not about ego. It's about weaponizing other people's suffering as fuel for your own result. In ultra-endurance races, when Goggins passes a competitor who's clearly breaking down, visibly struggling, ready to quit, he doesn't feel sympathy fatigue. He feels confirmation. Proof that his own suffering, the pain he chose to sit inside of 4 hours, is paying off exactly when it matters. At the moment someone else's is winning. He said that watching another person's will collapse in real time reminds him that most people never trained their mind for this moment. They trained their body. They ignored the part of them that actually determines who finishes and who doesn't. This isn't about cruelty toward others. It's about refusing to let your own resolve soften just because everyone around you is giving up. In a world where quitting is normalized, where self-care is often just a polished word for avoidance, Goggins built a mind that gets stronger exactly when everyone else's gets weaker. Closing 11. Zarevif facts. One truth underneath all of them: David Goggins was not born unbreakable. He was 297 pounds, broke, and average in every measurable way until he decided that pain was information, not a stop sign. The governor in your head lying to you at 40%. The cookie jar of proof you're stronger than you think. The mirror that won't let you lie to yourself. The callus you build one hard choice at a time. And the resolve that gets sharper exactly when it would be easiest to soften. None of these require you to become a Navy SEAL. They require you to stop negotiating with the version of you that wants the easy way out. So here's the question worth sitting with tonight: what's the one hard thing you've been avoiding, the thing you already know would make you stronger if you just stopped listening to the voice telling you to stop? If this hit you, hit subscribe, because we post facts like this that most people are too afraid to hear every single week.